Oh yeah, baby. We got a good live today. We have got a good live. We're gonna be addressing the Happy Cultivator and his incessant comments about me and my conversations with Carl, and I just love the way just can't keep my mouth out of your names, or at least my business out of your mouth. We're gonna be addressing SmallTubes and his anger. The anger of SmallTubes. Still an angry YouTuber. Complaining every fucking live feed I go. And we're gonna address, the elephant in the room, Dnuggs and Viking King. Where's the bud? Where's the flower? Show your indoor flower that's better than mine, that stretches. Stretches with THC while it breaks open. And mind you, seeded weed. Ah, you know what that means? That means it's gonna be better. Better, baby. Alright. So we're gonna get into this first. I'm gonna do a dab. I'm gonna heat up my rig. I know most of you watch this shit on the replay anyway. So I'm gonna, go keep my banger up. You may have to skip through a little bit. Skip through as much as you want. Rewind, fast forward, you know what I mean? If you're in, chill out. Maybe a little quiet for a little bit, but, gotta keep the banger up. I don't like doing it in the same room I'm in. Alright. Yeah, gotta heat it up pretty well. Break off some cheese. Yeah. See the temperature of our banger. We're at 500 degrees. Oh yeah, man. That was a hot dab right there. Alright, let me get into the show here. Let's turn some of this music down a bit. And we'll switch it up. Something a little fucking low-key vibey. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Alright, we're gonna go back. Alright, let's address this. Alright, so what do I gotta do? Hmm. Let's see. Bear with me. Internal DCM, baby. And go to today's video. There we are. This is how I like to do it. Now let's get to the video. Or I should say picture. If it'll even load up. Here we go. Now as you see, we had a little of an issue the other night. I guess Levels Grow Room had a little live. You motherfuckers, you probably don't know I'm in some of the shit. I see what you guys write. And it's quite shocking that some of you are still talking about some shit that was like a long ass time ago between me and another YouTuber. But they're just so obsessed with this shit, right? So here we go. As you all know, in my video long ago, I had said that I was in contact with Carl. And I must say, I'm going to be reviewing some of his bud in that photo right there. I'm going to say it, dude. Other than me, I think Carl is the best. He's got the best bud in the community. I would say that straight up. If Carl ever grew my high cultivar, man, dude, it would reach THC beyond the point of the THC that you would even think is humanly possible in bud. Now keep in mind that shit that I showed you stretching like that was outdoor. Now imagine what Carl could do with that cultivar. It'd be it is the quintessential greatest strain in the history of cannabis, and I can only give him a test to just breeding, man. You know what I mean? Why it's important to breed, Mr. SmallTubes, man. Like to complain about people breeding. All right, so let me get on to this actual shit. So, as you know, I had been in contact with Carl. I've seen his shit. I've seen what he's done with cocoa, and I had, what the hell? I wanted to try an outdoor cocoa. Didn't quite work out. I had many attacks in the community. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do cocoa if I'm not going to be in contact with Carl to be able to go over some shit. Then I don't want to talk to any fucking motherfuckers, right? I said it. Unless it's Carl, I don't want to talk to any of you motherfuckers about cocoa. You know what I'm saying? Because why the fuck would I, right? There's only one expert. So, not to sound rude to anyone, but what the hell, right? And I was like, I want to do it outdoors. We had this whole discussion and comments, tech back and forth, writing each other. Not actually talking to each other, but whatever. I backed out of it because I was like, I don't know, something I gotta commit on, and without Carl there, I'm not gonna fucking attempt it right now. But I'll attempt it in the future. But then you got this guy, the Happy Cultivator, going like this. To tell a grower to use cocoa outside and water your plant 6 times a day and use one resource you need outside. Really, really bad info. First of all, Mr. Happy Cultivator, Carl never told me to use cocoa outside. Using cocoa outside was my idea, to use cocoa outside. That's first off. Second off, okay, you say like water your plants 6 times a day. I don't know if like that was ever part of the formula there. I don't think he ever says he does it 6 times a day. In fact, I have some serious notes I took from Carl on exactly what he does. And like I said to you before, I said unless you do it like he does it, then don't say that's the wrong way to do it, right? Now, as you see, it's all jibble jabble. Like I crossed people's names out, blurred their faces out. You know what I mean? Just to focus on that one post that I'm focusing on here. And then he says, and use the one resource you need outside. The one resource I need outside. And use the one resource you need outside. Again, most of the time you guys don't speak like you're using English words, but like you don't know how to formulate your communications. Like, what does that even mean, man? Use the one resource you need outside. It's like trying to interpret something, man. How do you interpret that? Use the one resource you need outside. I don't know if there is one resource you need outside. What, soil, the sun, water? I don't know what he's talking about. And he says really, really bad info. Really bad info. What's the bad info? First of all, he never said 6 times, and he never said to grow outside with cocoa. Never said it. It was an experiment to see what would happen. I had the idea. I wanted to know if he's ever tried it. He said he's never tried it, but it would be cool to see what the heck would happen if you did a cocoa grow outdoors and you just dug like a big pit, fill it with cocoa, right? So I just doesn't make any sense. It's just a smearing tactic that they're like doing on Carl. It's like gaslighting or whatever, like making him seem like an idiot to people who have no idea like what's going on. Kind of like how like what's the worst thing that they could say about me to try to smear me to everyone was that I was a little kid, a little boy. I wasn't even 30 years old, and so I look like an amateur at this point. You see what I'm saying? I said that said, it's still better than their shit. Like, even if what they say is true, let's say I'm in my 20s, which is absolutely absurd and insane, um, it's still better than theirs. Like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? Ah, man. And again, I like to say, show me some shit, man. I have seen Vikings. If you go to his page, you go to his banner at the top. He has a bud there. I think that was directed at me. It's all sparkly. Oh, you showed the first part. See, there's levels to this shit. Show me the sparkle. Show me a goop on the inside, and then show me the stretch of the THC. I never said that I demanded to see the stretch of the THC after harvest. I mean, that doesn't count. Like, you want to know what the high cultivar did after I harvested it? Dude, when I had to peel the buds back to take a peek inside, so, man, just to look. And, dude, it sounds like fucking Velcro ripping. No joke. Loud Velcro rip as I am opening the bud. It had that much trichome lock of that shit. And, it's just, I don't know. I just don't know what people are thinking sometimes when they say comments. But again, back to it. I'm totally understandable. I'm not asking for bud stretching like that right off the bat. You know, it's let it cure. Let it cure like 5 months. Take a little bit. Save a little bit of bud for me. Save a little bit. Even like a few months after, man. Save some bud. Show me it. Show me like the process and all that shit. Show me it. Because I can tell you one thing, the guy who's curing Carl's shit, it's good. But like I said, if they just listen to me and just incorporate some of the things that I said, which is don't hang the entire plant, and I simply say that because like the buds get smushed into each other. You know what I mean? As it dries, it's all pulling in. It's all like the weight of it's like crushing it. Like if you could like preserve it more, you'd be even better. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And they're saying whole hang a plant. I don't believe in the whole hanging of a plant because like I don't seriously I don't want any of the terps and the leaves and the friggin' stick. I don't want any of that moisture. Any moisture that I'm putting is already being put in the room with clean water, and there's an air conditioning on that's like taking out the water in the air and turning it to ice. I could have showed you that better, but we're gonna hit the bong right now. So to address it, simply because I believe they must be watching my shit, because I'm the only one that Carl even talked to about. Everyone does cocoa outside. What are you talking about? I know lots of people that do it. No, see what we're talking about is here. I know what he's talking about. We're talking about putting the cocoa in the ground, man. In the ground, cocoa, not cocoa in a pot outside. We're saying cocoa in the ground, man. Sean Carl, like, the formula is out there. He keeps telling you what he's doing. Do it and prove him wrong. He's telling you what to do. He keeps saying you're leaving something out. You're leaving something out. You're leaving something. Then they're like, "Oh, you left it in the cloner longer to grow the roots longer." That's Grow Boss 101. Anyone who watches the Grow Boss, all these people who say they're Grow Boss this and that, that's what the Grow Boss said. He said keep them in the cloner longer and grow the roots bigger. Bigger roots, bigger plant. Get a clone with massive root structure on it. Don't take it out of the cloner as soon as the roots start popping out. And he said why people do take it out of the cloner when the roots pop out is because they're killing them and they need to take it out before it dies or before it starts to die. But like, dude, like the real method is that makes total sense now. Look at the size of his roots he had on that plant that he put in the friggin' thing. That he didn't have a little drinky dink thing. Okay, you saw 30 days of that going in. All right, there you go. You're seeing it now, right? Just do it and then prove them wrong. Now you say, oh, why don't you do it? I say, you know what? I don't like to waste money like that. I'll just be totally honest. Like, why would I spend money on grow lights inside and all that stuff? Take away from my solar power and all that. I can get enough outdoor that's like better than indoor, I say. And let's get on that because we just had the 4th of July come up, and we just had that shit come up here. Let's see if I can get out of this one, right? I think I hit the back button. Yeah. All right. So we just had the 4th of July come up, and I had family members telling me that was the best bud they have ever had in their life. These are old timers. These are young guys. Uh, One of them, their buddy, that was a long time distributor, legal distributor in the state, smoked it and said it was the best stuff he's ever had. Every strain I created was absolutely amazing. And they were saying this particular one they absolutely loved. And I rounded that down to the Dorigo Dank one. I crossed the Dorigo Dank with my strain. Apparently, they are loving that one. And I'm just going to keep the seed for myself, man. They never told me to breed it for them. But if that shit's that good, then I'm keeping that for myself, man. That shit's kept for me. I'm gonna get that sold out. So here you go, Mr. SmallTubes. Don't smoke seed, he says. Don't smoke seed, huh? So you see that little black dot as this opens, and you can see it tear open, and look at the string of THC. Now it might be hard to see because YouTube, they make my video quality shit, but I got these videos posted as shorts, so you can see a short of it closed up. And I just recently did a test on a little bit nub that I had left of this. 10 months. 10 months cured, dude. It's still stretched. Just like that, man. Just like that, bro. And this is the stretch you're gonna get. Not because I did anything special to the plant. Not because anything except the genetics. The high cultivar will do this. This is the high cultivar. And again, I challenge anyone to show bud that stretches. And the only one that might is Carl. And I've seen that bud he has. And if he can just try to cure it like me and get it to stretch, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see the stretch. I'm not angry. I want to see people have bud that stretches like string cheese, like freaking Michelangelo eating a fucking pizza, the Ninja Turtles and shit. Now this one's a little easier to see. A little easy. I'm even gonna try zooming in a bit. So zoomed in or zoomed in. So I got this zoomed in using an Apple device. I got someone to do it for me. Now, I want to see everyone's weed look like this. I want to see everyone's weed do this. But sadly, you need the cultivar to do it. It's just not going to do it with your bud. You can try all you want. But it's the cultivar that's doing this. It's the specific cut. And it's not even the other seeds that this flower came from. It's not even that, man. Because I'm telling you, I've grown those seeds, and none of them are like this one. There might have been one that was, and that plant just wasn't saved. But this one, well, because I already had this one saved, that one was after this one. Pretty much, I found this one, and I kept flowering them out, growing out every seed, keep trying to find the seeds through that thing. That's how I hunt. Instead of hunting them all at once, it's been a slow hunt. 5 years, and I still haven't found a plant like this one. And it's a cut only, which means you need the cut. But the crosses I made off this one, and then back crossed into more off this one, and then back crossed those off of that, and then back crossed that. Dude, that's unbelievable shit ever. That's why this part of the video is directed to SmallTubes, which I like to say, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I guess telling some people to, don't know what you're talking about when telling people not to grow or produce seed. I think that's a mistake. Granted, most of the shit people put out is garbage. I'll agree with you, SmallTubes. It's absolute garbage, and it's fucking up genetics. But that one, that two, maybe third plant that they're finding that's absolute fire is worth all the failures. There's a lot of failures. Like, I have probably 20 strains that I have bred, maybe more. How many of those strains do you even know about? You know why? Because some of them were failures. You know what I mean? But what's someone else's what's one's failure is someone else's like gold, what they love. You know what I mean? Someone might like that. A lot of people they don't want high percentage weed. They want the 15, 16 percentages. And they can't smoke the high shit. So I mean, I don't know. To each his own. I may like a terp profile. Someone else may not like that terp profile. Someone may like a different terp profile that I may not like. So I should not have too much judgmentalness on my strains that I create. At the same time, I give testers out. I find out what people like. I find out what people say. And what people are saying is they can't wait for this year, and it was the best shit they ever had. And there was one guy, after he smoked my stuff, he quit growing marijuana. One of them quit growing after they smoked my stuff. And they might still grow a little bit, but you know what I mean? Yeah, that tells you something right there. And then you got like $700 pounds going around. Man, dude, there really isn't money in marijuana. People think there is, and then everyone wants to get in it. But they should just leave it to leave it to the experts, and you'll all be better off. Because you keep putting out too much of this shit, man. You're gonna cause one or two things. You're gonna cause the price of weed to completely crash, along with the high grade, or you're probably gonna make an entirely new redefining of high grade to where you're gonna have $700 like pounds, and then you're gonna have like $53 grams because there's so much like garbage out there that people are like, shit, man, why am I doing all this work and my shit's the same price as these other people's shit? Just like, think about when you saw Carl's bag of that fucking awesome weed you showed, and just think how like there's other people who would expect their bud to be valued at the same price as it's valued at, and there'd even be dealers that would argue it. Oh, the price is this. Oh, the price is that. It's like, man, you guys are gonna get ripped off by these dispensaries because they're gonna pull that shit on you, and they're gonna say, I don't care. I'm in control of what the public gets, and if your shit's too expensive, I'm just gonna buy lower quality and make the profit I need to make. And that's what the shit's become now, and that is some fucked up shit when you think about it. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, $53 a gram, and who will cater to the $53 a gram, which would be about, I don't know, what is that, 1,500 over 1,500 an ounce? That you guys were like, that's crazy. No, $53 a gram. You're gonna get the connoisseur that maybe he smokes once a year, once a month. You know, he's got some money. He's like the guy that when he drinks wine once in a great while, he goes for the $50 bottle, not the $14 bottle or the $5 bottle. See, the winos and the people that drink wine all the time, they drink the $5 wine, the $15 wine, and they talk about, oh, it's the same, blah 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 blah. But then you get the connoisseurs of wine, and they drink like $50 to $100 a bottle of wine, but they may only have that on a special occasion, and that is like just like the connoisseurs, exquisite, um, high life, like you know what I'm saying, type of thing. And people have tried that with pre rolls and stuff, but the problem with the pre rolls, when you put the crystals on it, the rosin all over it, is it's got a limited shelf life to it. Those pre rolls, and unless you get it out quick. Now, here's what you see. This bud, though, I mean, 10 months, and it still stretches like freaking taffy, and it's still like fire and amazing shit like it was before. Yeah, I mean, it's got a longer shelf life. Like that's a crazy long shelf life. And then we're talking aged cannabis. Yeah, man, that's gonna be a whole new thing on its own. Like when you can age the cannabis to get the trichome heads to like stretch and ooze with THC when they're pulled apart like that. Like you realize that's the bud. It had the trikes and the trike heads, and it all compressed down so tight. They all compact together and then maintained their environment long enough for it to, instead of being goopy, it went straight like stretch, straight THC stretch, and all that goopiness kind of infused into the flower, and you get that insane like I would say like taste of the terp taste. That's the thing that people miss out on is you got to that terp smell and the terps in that flower when you cut it. You gotta keep that around, and you gotta put that so it infuses into the plant material, so it just can't escape, and there's just so much of it that the plant material just kind of infuses it in it, and it picks up the taste. And that's a big thing on the curing process is there's smells that need to go away, and in a specific way, like and then there's smells that you gotta keep, and those smells you gotta hold in, and that'll probably hold in the terp taste flavors and shit too, and stuff like that. And now I would say, on the whole, like don't smoke seed shit. Dude, like I said, this stuff had seed in it. Man, I'd smoke this shit all day over anything, man. In fact, it was the first to go. First to go in the freaking weed. I only had one plant of this. I had one plant of this, and I had like a bunch of different phenos of this, trying to find another one of these to see what the other seeds would do. Because I got some more seeds left. And I always pheno hunt every year to try to find it, and I'll continue till there's no more seed left. And what we have here is something special, and whatever the seeds are from this, it's going to be even better shit, but not better than the mother. Now, he's right on that. What he was saying in the chat was, because I like to read the chat, and I find SmallTubes very amusing, the shit he says. He's just so angry. He's like an angry grower. I don't know if he's just been black pilled or he's black pilling from seeing all the plant killing. He's like he reminds me of like a World War II vet that's been in all these battles and seen like hell, and now it's like he's like just yelling at the young kids about what the fuck they don't know what they're doing. It's like, but he's like hardened like from seeing so much plant death, I guess, in the community. But at the same time, I think maybe I think maybe he's going a little too hard. Like to tell people not to breed, you might have just like prevented the next greatest strain from coming about. Like I don't know. Think about strawberry cough. That was created by a plant killer. A lot of people don't realize a plant killer created that strain, gave like dead clones to someone else, and that person saved the clones because he was like an expert grower, and then he spread the freaking plant everywhere. But if it wasn't for the plant killer who like crossed it, you would have never had strawberry cough, and that's like one of the best like strains in the world, people would say, or at least the United States. The world's pretty big. Uh, I'm sure Afghan hash is probably the best, or I mean, most popular in the world since it goes everywhere. But I guess it's a different topic of matter. Now, you can see the crud on the gloves, and just how crazy this is. And this is just from me handling the bud from the bag. And like I said, I press this stuff out, and like the golden rivers come, they flow. Juicy too, absolutely juicy. So I guess we can kind of try to get to the next topic, I guess, and that is Dnuggs and the Viking King. Now I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about it because I heard them talking. They've got plants. All right, so they grow them. They got the buds coming. It's gonna happen. Is it possible for them to do this? Will they succeed? Have they impressed me? I'll say this, Viking King, first, you passed like the first. You got past the first level, man. You showed me. Again, I believe I'm on quote saying that I don't even care if it's someone else's buds you show me. So whether it's yours, I know it's his. It's his bud. I'm gonna claim it's his. Let's go by that. He showed glimmering and shining, like the glow, the crystal of the flower. So now what you've got to do, I don't know how long that's been curing, but after a while of it curing, you should be able to crack it open, and you should just see it gooping, like it's like white tan like rosin inside, just gooping. Then you gotta let it cure a little longer, and then you'll find that that stuff will I don't know what. There's a process that I don't even understand what's going on in there. But then it'll do this thing where it'll just start stretching like that. Where you'll break it open and you'll hear the snap too. Like it'll snap when it breaks. I've got all types of point of views of this bud. I've got the original where you hear the snap, me cracking it open, blah blah blah. And I've got kind of like terrible zoomed in versions or short versions, and now I got a better zoomed in version of it. I'll go to the original size in case my zooming in made it worse. But and again, we got that glare in the background of this video preventing me from actually showing you the string. Oh man, and these aren't even the best ones that I've seen. I had to film this because, dude, I was cracking them open and smoking them, and I was getting like tons. Like it would goop stretch, and it would get on freaking tables, my fingers, and everywhere, and it was just like ridiculous. And I was like, I gotta film this. I gotta get it filmed. Yeah, that's the high cultivar right there. Select cut. You can only get the select cut. Now, I am excited that maybe Dnuggs and Viking King can show me up, and I hope they don't like. I hope nothing flakes out on this. In this, they prove me wrong on this. Show me, because a lot of this has to do with me. Even like I need to know this information. Kind of like I want to know if other people can do this with their strains. Like what? There's got to be something out there that does this. I've seen a little bit with some of my other strains. I have other strains, and like I have seen a little bit, like a few of them, like connect and stretch out. Like you know what I'm saying? But never to this level. I mean, if you could really see it with your own eyes, I'm not. There's no joke. It's just a freaking bar of it. It's a friggin' bar of fucking rosin, more than a spider web. You know what I mean? If even like that's more rosin than a spider web. And like I said, I even have a video showing one of my other strains. It wasn't even really anything special. What was I pulling off the smoke? The smoke, pulling the smoke through a bong, through a wet half sheeted paper towel where I take one ply off the paper towel to make it be able to pull air through a little easier. Dude, I had 40% yield on that. Yes, 40%. 40% yield on the smoke. You know how insane that is? That's ridiculous. That's why some of this fucking shit, you smoke it, you'll be coughing up rosin. No joke, you'll cough up rosin. I'd like to get that stuff tested to see exactly what it is. You know what I mean? But we all know what resin is. You burn the plant, it turns to resin. Now, I have looked, and I believe that when this stuff goes in you and you cough it out, you're coughing out like dust and fibers and I think that we're coughing out dust when we cough out the marijuana. I think it's cleaning our lungs. I don't think it's harming the lungs because the way this THC stuff works in the I would say rosin type of thing is it doesn't you can bake it on something, but if you put like a pipe or something in like water, it'll like dissolve. You know what I'm saying? Right? After a certain amount of time, it breaks down. And the thing with the tobacco was that it doesn't break down. The tar there does not break down. Um, so that's just my guess on marijuana. They say it produces more of the stuff, but a lot of that stuff is like I don't know, just like rosin that got burned and now is resin. It has like a bunch of other shit in it. That's probably not good. Well, let's see it. I'm just, again, trying to call them out. Get this shit going. Make sure they remember, like, dude, this is the deal, man. You got to prove it now. If we're going to call each other out, let's show each other up. And I expect to be showing up this year. Now, I must say, the weather has turned around quite nicely. I'm getting a lot of sun, lots of growth, and yes, it's going to be an amazing year. And emergency broadcast has been called off. I was going to have an emergency July broadcast to all my subscribers about the potential for torrential rains from now till harvest, where you'll definitely be required to have a greenhouse, plastic, something over your plants just to save them, man. And I may still advise you, if you're hearing this video, yeah, you may want to build some sort of greenhouse over your garden, or at least some plants. Have some structure so that you can put plastic over it, because dude, we could be facing harvest, everyday rain, and no sun. We could be facing that. We could be facing something like we had in June, where it was nothing but rain. And that happens to you guys, you're completely effed. Now, I have a small area over here. I was able to put plastic over it. And it really made a difference. It really made a difference. And the other site, yeah, it's bigger, but I can get the plastic over it, and I've done it before, and it sucks, but it's manageable. And this year I'm going to have a stronger structure. I got all the plastic, so like I said, I mean, this bud outside, I had that plastic over it. I didn't let rain touch it. Once it got into flower, I wouldn't allow the rain to hit it. That's another thing about this. Now, you want to call it greenhouse weed? You want to say it's outdoor? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it would be better defined as greenhouse bud if I didn't let any water get on it. So there might have been a few occasions where the flap of plastic came up and a little bit of water got on it, but not the whole plant, and it definitely stayed water free the entire time. I made sure that I didn't have any dead hairs coming up. I made sure of that, because that's what the water will do. The water will keep getting on your hairs, and it'll kill some hairs. Now, your plant's still going to grow the bud, but what's going to happen is you're going to have hairs that turned red, and then they're going to die, but they're going to be inside the bud, and then new pistils are going to form. They're all going to form around it, and you're going to have that old hair that's not white inside of fresh hairs. And then over the course of the bud growing, by the end of the thing, you got dead hair in there, and you know what happens to dead plant matter? It rots. And I've tried telling people, it starts at the hair. You want to know where most of the time it's going to start? The hairs. That's why the old school 90s way to grow marijuana, where I learned to grow, no, I ain't no kid, from the 90s, man, you knew when to harvest your bud when it was near the end of harvest, right? So harvest should be ending soon. And you want to wait till half of every hair turns red. Not half the hairs turn red. We have full hairs and solid white hairs. And you let some of the hairs turn totally red. You don't let them turn totally red. Going by the 90s, you're supposed to, you'll see hairs, and half of them, you'll have half of single hair will be both red and white. And that's when you know to cut your plant, to cut the buds off the plant, because it's at the end of the flower. They're not going to get any bigger, and you let those hairs get any redder, and it's going to over ripen your bud, because any of the trichome curing and all that stuff, That's going to happen in the dry and the cure stage. What's happening with a lot of people is they're looking at the trichomes and they're thinking that the trichomes are going to tell them when it's the most potent because they look for some amber with all white. But the truth of the matter is those amber trichomes and stuff, like and all that, dude, it just so it doesn't even matter. It's such a tiny amount of the trichomes on that flower and in that plant that it has no bearing on anything. In fact, when you harvest your plant and you stick it in a bag, those supposed ripe trichomes are all going to fall off anyway. You know what I mean? And then what you're going to have is you're going to have overripe plant material. And that overripe plant material can't survive a long dry and cure process, which means that you probably got to get rid of it quick or sell it really quick because it's on the verge of just going bad. You know what I mean? It's like this. You're picking fruit when it's like really really ripe, and like you can't keep that a day, but it's really good fruit and you like it. And it's delicious. I'll give you that. The vegetables and fruit are delicious. But I'm saying this: what you could harvest it when it's ripe, and then have it have a little bit of longevity to where you can store it a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a problem with people. They're overripening the stuff because, like I said, like we're talking an herb, and what happens is you cut it down. It's still alive. Like it's just like a clone when you think about it. Like the plant doesn't die and stop doing its thing when you cut it down. The plant is still alive. So when you have it in your dry room that's drying, the plant's still alive. And that's why you want to put it in darkness. You don't want to give it light. You know what I mean? Because going by that science, any light going on the plant in shock of being cut, it might want to spring back into veg. And what that's going to do, it's going to degrade the THC in the plant. See? And its last dying moment is going to be try to re-veg something so I can reroot. But if it's dark, it's like shit. There's no light. There's no nothing, and it's just stuck in a flower type of environment where it'll probably I guarantee they still ripen a little bit during that short time where it's dying. You know what I mean? But I also told you, dying, not drying. You want to dry it. You don't want to have it dying. And I just can't state the importance of not letting an entire big bush just all hang down and crush itself. But no one listens, and that's totally fine. And that's why I really don't mind people not doing what I say to do, because it just means that I'll be the only one doing it, and I can sell my shit for 53 a gram. Until people can show stretching like that. Now, I guarantee you they'll probably be able to show like one or two trichomes stretch like that. The heads pull and stretch. I'm saying a bar of it, man. Dude, crazy shit right here. It's all the way down. There's parts of that you can't even see. But see how close I can get. It's a shame I can't get better quality filming of it, but dude. Look at that. I'll also say this, like, people want to be like, oh, don't breed and shit. Don't do all that shit, dude. There's some fucking breeding and shit and doing that shit, dude. I got seeds that survive the ice and snow and grow in the cold and shit. it's like, people should be breeding it, man. The more you cross, it's like, I don't know. You're all just smoking the same shit at that point because you're not crossing it. And it's true. Like if you have like the Mac One and it's like the best strain, and you cross it with something else, yeah. I mean, it's not going to be as good as the Mac One, right? But but it'll be different. And you get that plant and you cross it with something else, and then you're bringing different genetics together, and then you take that one, you cross that back with the Mac One, and you're gonna have something even more different. And you can just keep doing that. And you just keep doing that and doing that and doing that, and it just keeps revolving back, and it gets back into the really high potent one. And I swear it changes. It changes every time. Every single seed, every plant, it's completely different. Complete THC, completely different chirping profile. Um, I had more than one seed sprout the other year. I just didn't show all the plants because I didn't show them all. But I had more than one seed sprout, which C is the seed C, seed A, B, C, D. I had more than one sea sprout, and some of them were really like frosty, like potent, and others like weren't. And some of them had like a chirp that I didn't really like, and others it was tweaked just right to where like okay, I like it. You know what I mean? So it's, I mean, people should be exploring and trying to find new strains and different things like that and breeding. Otherwise, the industry is dead. I mean, what are you gonna have? Uh, they're like, oh, we'll let the experts do it. Well, the problem with the experts is they don't have the sheer stupid luck, I guess. A lot of people are like dumb lucky to where like they can cross something and it'll be the best shit everyone's ever had. And with these experts, they can try and try and try, and probably like it'll take them 20 different seeds just to find something decent, and it's really not that great. But they'll probably try pinning it up like it's great, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, so I think people should definitely definitely be breeding. I don't get me wrong. I like SmallTubes. I like his attitude. I like his anger. It's funny, but I'm just saying it's kind of like funny, man. Funny enough that I have to address it, but mainly because it was in the same video that the other dude was in. So where he's obviously talking about me, but I don't know. I think that that guy's wrong, and I just like to confirm to say that that information in that comment was wrong. Like, I was never told to put it outdoors, and I was never told to water it 6 times a day. And another part, I have no idea what he means by that. But that's that. Now, what do we have for the year so far? Well, we have a lot of this freaking smoke coming, and I must say, you guys have to watch your what is it? The air pollution index or something weird like that. It there are these maps, they're interactive maps that show you the air quality map. And look at your air quality because you got a lot of these forest fires around, and I'm telling you, it's not good to breathe in. And you'll notice, you look at the history, we had some spikes of red, and it happened in everywhere, scattered in a bunch of different states, all over the place, to where it was like hazardous to go out and breathe. You got like YouTubers. I don't know if anyone listens to Tim Pool or anything, but he complained that he has bad smoke and from him, and it gave him laryngitis. He couldn't breathe in the morning. I suggest anyone like maybe get an air filter, HEPA filter, Alexa Pure Breeze. Um, keep your windows shut. If you see smoke, keep them shut. Put the AC on. Um, the particulates of this shit's gonna be falling down to the ground and probably poisoning all of our plants. Like I said before, use the magnetite dust. Buy magnetite dust. You still have time. I believe you still have time for that. You put it down. Um, that'll absorb a lot of the contaminants in the ground, like mercury, heavy metals, even the vinyl chloride, shit like that. It'll help pull it out of the ground like that, right? It'll like kind of like lock it in, so your plants don't get that sort of thing. So that's a big problem. People have got to watch out for things like that. There's another video I want to address, and that is this plane. This woman screaming about some reptilian on a plane. All this funny shit. That guy's not real. Well, first of all, the woman never said it was a reptilian. Never said it was a shapeshifter. She was just screaming and running away from a dude on a plane. Everyone was on filming her, saying that he wasn't real. She was saying the guy wasn't real. So that could mean a lot of things. You know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily mean alien, right? So just like to point that out. People want to just jump to reptilian, but like, dude, she said he wasn't real, man. No, I mean, wasn't real. You get Carrot Top. He then said that the woman lost an earbud, and was asking him like for it, or like was looking for it. He was sitting behind her, and I don't know. Maybe she was like angry that he took the plane, or like he was like made a mean look or something. I've had crazy women say some crazy shit about me like that. I know I'm flesh and blood. I've had them fucking some crazy bitches that were like, "Oh, you shapeshifted," and were like freaking out. I'm like, "Bitch, I know I'm human." There's some lunatics out there. You stay away from those women. You know what I'm saying? They're crazy, crazy people. I mean, you yourself know you're not an alien, so I mean, you know they're crazy. So that's like after that, I was like, you know what? Maybe a lot of these people are crazy, and if I'm being accused, shit, you know what I mean? The whole shit might be shit. Now, I do believe in some sort of extraterrestrial bullshit, but I got a whole video on that. What else can I say? What else can I say? Well, we got the Ukraine situation. I believe I was going to say something about that. That was quite important. Oh yeah, the Zaporizhia power plant and stuff. They're making a big deal about that. It's not going to be near as bad as Chernobyl. Um, it's not going to be a big deal if it blows up. It's not going to be like a nuclear bomb going off. More people are going to die because of not being able to get the electricity that could produce than would die from contaminant. Um, if you want any information on that, uh, I don't care to go over the statistics in this video, but you can search a guy named Thunderfoot, Thunder F00T instead of the O's. He's got a video on the Zaporizhia power plant, or power plant, all that, and you just listen to that. Just listen to all the information he gives and breaks down. Um, they're making a big deal out of something that's. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be bad for the that general area, but I mean, it's not going to be like something insanely bad like they claim it would be. And like I said, the major problem would be the lack of not having the power that would have supplied. Like an example would be like when Fukushima got hit by the tidal wave and stuff. People realized that the radiation only killed very few, and that the majority of the people that died were from the lack of the infrastructure, from having no power and all that shit. That's how people died. It wasn't the radiation. So uh, people forget there's a lot of people that depend on electricity, and you just cut it off like that, or you no longer have access to it. Yeah, it's going to be very dangerous for people. That's more dangerous is because that's the largest power plant in Europe. So that's the biggest danger is losing that power plant and the power it could provide would hurt more people than the radiation that would come from it being hit or blow up. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, listen to Thunderfoot. Go on that video. He isn't right about the war. Don't listen to him on that. Don't listen to him on that. This is I can't even discuss that right now because they'll ban my channel. But so some things maybe I didn't update on. I've had bug zappers above my pyramid hanging down. I got a pretty nice bug zapper. Going to be utilizing that now. Have been utilizing it. We'll see the results. You'll be updated on the whole, both gardens and everything else. But at the beach location, I had that plastic over that garden, and I must say, the plastic definitely it caused major growth on those plants. Since the last time I showed, I was able to top it twice since the last time. Just from it growing so quick. And why did it grow so fast? Because I didn't let it rain nonstop on the plants. It was able to get itself dried out. And I have a perfect little makeshift greenhouse. I'm keeping them as low as possible. We got some clean plants there. We got the frass down. We got the boogie brew going, the tea going. We got all the amino acids in there. And like I said, the ability to put plastic over it. And I didn't want to have to do it, but it was needed. And well, I took the risk of them possibly going into flower because, like I said, that plastic cuts back on the UV. And if you're not having any UV anyway, then that UV could trigger the flower, the lack of UV rather. Or just the sun, because it was really dark. We're talking like cloudy every day, and then put plastic over it. Yeah, it's not good, but got through it, and they did better. They grew a lot, and it is what it is. So I'll be taking the tissue cultures from there, from these clean ones here, and I won't be tissue culturing the one at the other site where I'm having the problems with the leaf miners. Although the leaf miners haven't bothered that one, and I'm pretty sure I've got them all taken care of. They've moved on to the apple tree now that I don't have them locked in that tent, which was the ultimate mistake of the whole thing. Putting the net on too soon. You don't want to do that. You lock everything in. So I like the bug zapper. We're going to be using the bug zapper. We're going to be using the predator wasps on the moths like we did. And then, like the other one, I'm going to put the tent over it once it starts to flower. Once it gets to that point where I don't want bugs on it. And by that, I mean like the moths and shit. Yeah. Put that over it. Get the bug zapper, zap anything in the tent, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, we're going to take this bong hit right here. I mean, I've done the show pretty long. It's been a pretty long show. I don't want to keep running and doing this fucking thing all damn day. I like to keep my content a little shorter. I understand, like, hours of content is too much for anyone to absorb at once. I mean, who has an hour to go through everything? And I talk fast anyway, so speeding up my videos would just make it too too crazy. So again, the Dorigo Dank strain. And my testers told me was some of the best shit they have ever had. Sadly, I will not be giving the Dorigo Dank. I kind of want it for myself, and I want to market that one myself. Might sound a little selfish here, but I'm kind of a selfish person. But, I mean, that's just a dispensary, man. I mean, my subscribers and shit, meh. You know what I mean? I might not be able to afford any of the actual Dorigo Dank seeds because I might not have too many of them just to give out. But like the next strain, like that following year, the seeds I made from that, which was some of it was in the outdoor garden part, was I did those. Whatever pollen hit it, hit it. That's gonna be its own thing. But the other strain, man, I had I don't think I didn't really tell anyone this, but I had popped a lot of plants the fall last year of that Dorigo Dank, and I pheno hunted for a male plant, specifically a male plant, and then I hunted the females too, and found them, and then I crossed those two together, and it was kind of an indoor outdoor thing in pots and stuff, and those I have those. So that'd be more like an F2 type of thing, I guess, or F1. I don't know, whatever. But again, I don't know what it'll do, and shit sometimes does different things. So what I like to do, I like to keep clones of stuff. But I mean, if I haven't pheno hunted it, I'm not gonna really necessarily like. I must have that. I must have that. You know what I mean? Like I've got A clone, and I got like the D1 clone. I'll give those two examples. And like I said, the D was the dark chocolate covered strawberry, like terpene flavor and smell. Like stinks of that. Like it's unbelievable, man. And and then the other one, it was just this super frosty honey type strain. Those need to be pheno hunted, even though I've got them. I got those two cuts done. I got them saved, but I saved those cuts because those popped in the snow, so they kind of got the resistance to cold in them. Because the previous year I did it too, but those need to be pheno hunted because I believe I can find a more potent D and a more potent A. I know I can. A better version of it. And if that ever happened, man, dude, I know I can do it. I know it's out there because um, that's how it works. And that's going to be the shit right there. And when I find that, that will be the select cut of that. You see what I'm saying? So I still got to find some select cuts and all that shit. And, there's some work in this shit. But you know what? Time flies. I'm not in any rush here. I'm not in any rush. Like I said, dude, we blew by 4 years of Trump. And we already blew by, like, pretty much the years of Biden administration, like, his first admin, right? So, I mean, dude, you put work in all those years, yeah, that adds up to something. You know what I mean? And that's another thing I think people need to do. They need to work on it more long term than try to do like all this short term shit. Like, uh, there's a bigger picture out there, and some people might be selling themselves short. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you put out a strain, and it's not as good as it would be with the seeds that you actually have that you haven't popped yet. You see what I'm saying? And you might win a contest with some of the other seeds that's in that bag, and you lose the contest with or competition with what you currently have. But you think what you currently have is the best, but you're too afraid or preoccupied to check to see if the others are still viable. And the whole thing with plant count does screw people up. Like, I'll admit, for me, plant count, um, I could have bred and done a lot more with the plant count. It slowed things down. It's made it so that it takes many years to do certain breeding projects instead of getting it all done 1 year type of thing. Uh, which is not necessarily bad because you get to dedicate more time to each plant before finding out that it was a reject, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Now I know for a fact. Like the other high cultivars from that bag, dude, I'm getting bubblegum, strong bubblegum, terpene, smell and flavor, whatever. And by bubblegum, I mean like Bazooka Joe. You ever had Bazooka Joe, the original? Yeah, it's like Bazooka Joe, and I mean it's good. I love it. If I didn't have this one, I would say that's fucking amazing. I love it. But because I know this and the high select, that's not even bubblegum. Um, I just, to pinpoint what I'm getting off the high select is not possible because it tastes like so many different frigging things. I'm not kidding. It tastes like so much different stuff. It's really, really, really unique strain. Which is why, like, most of the shit I'm growing this year is this specific one. And, like, I'm not fucking around. It's miserable being without the high cultivar. I love the other stuff, but, like, dude, I need this. I don't know what's in it, but I need it. I need it bad. And, so much so that I have begun, like, the tops I've pulled off, I'm drying those out. I'm drying them out because I remember what I did the other year. Like the terps and whatever's in this, it's like the ultimate medicine for me. I don't know what it does for me. It does something pretty spectacular for me, and I just can't be without it. But I've realized if I can pull the tops off it when I'm topping it, and then I can consume those like smoking it or eating it, and I can get that. I can get it. I can get some of them terps in it, and I can survive. And this year, though, all goes well, God willing. Um, I'll have enough to last me the entire year, right? So enough of the high to last me the entire year, which is what I want. And there's another problem, and the problem is with D, and that the D, the dark chocolate, uh, dark chocolate covered strawberry. Now, if you ever had dark chocolate covered strawberry, they sell them in these bags. They're dehydrated They're dehydrated strawberries dipped in dark chocolate in a bag, and the whole bag's full of them. You smell that, you taste that. I swear that's exactly what this is. You'll know. You'll know my terpene profile when you taste those. Oh my lord! But the problem with that strain is it tastes so damn good, it smells so damn good, and it looks so damn good that I can't smoke it because it looks too good to smoke. I just want to have it. I want to have it in a jar, and I want to sniff the jar. Every day, I just want to examine how amazing it is and smell how amazing it is. Now, the problem with that is, by the time I actually got around to smoking it, a lot of the magic was gone. You know what I mean? We're talking like 4 months in. You know what I mean? No, I would smoke some of it, but it was just too good. It was too good. Too good to smoke. Too good to consume. I just wanted to smell it and see it. And hoping that would keep lasting forever. But the magic, it lasts. It lasts. It lasts a good amount of time. But I definitely was stupid for not consuming that one first. and leaving the high cultivar for now. But I went like a friggin' pig, and I smoked all the high select cultivar, and had none left. And then I was like, oh, well, I still have the other one. And I'm like, well, it would have been better if I had it before, because those terps were amazing fresh. Like, the chocolate covered strawberry is just probably some of the most delicious terpenes I've ever tasted or smelled. And it ain't even like a chocolate. I swear it's a dark chocolate. That subtle difference. The subtle difference of that. Man, I'm not sure how it's possible that it smells chocolate, but I looked it up. And there's a lot of chocolate strains out there. And tons of them. And it's pretty cool. And how mine was created. Like you might say, oh, I want to create this chocolate strain. I'm going to cross like chocolate strain and blueberry strain together. I'm going to make a chocolate blueberry strain. I don't think that's how it works. Because when I created the strawberry dark chocolate strain, the strains before did not taste like chocolate, nor did they taste like strawberry. It just manifested itself. Which is why I'm saying people just need to keep crossing shit, because like shit manifests itself. Like a lot of times people want to say, oh, I'm gonna cross this and it's gonna be this flavor. Not necessarily. Um, that shit manifests, man. It manifests, and then you can only cross that and have weaker versions of that, which is kind of what SmallTubes was probably talking about when he was saying, why cross something to only get like a worse version of it? And he's right, but like on that front, like talking like that, like on the someone says they want to cross this and that to make this strain, it might not happen. That needs to be manifested just from the plant doing it. Like if someone was to find a grape strain without using grape strains that already exist, they would have to cross two different strains that didn't even taste or smell like grape. But somehow, like, it manifests the grape terpene in the genetics. And then that's selected, and then that's cultivated to a purple pheno strain, right? But you don't just create fucking purple, or like grape rather. You don't just create something like that. Like let's say like Twisted Roots had a banana strain. Okay, you could cross that with something else. You're only gonna get a worse banana strain. I haven't even heard him talk about the banana strain. Have you? I don't know, man. I grew out his which year was that? A long time ago. I grew his I don't even know what the fuck he calls it anymore. Fuck, what was it? GPU? Something gorilla? I think it's something with a gorilla or some shit. TD Purple Urkel? Whatever it was. It smelled like bananas. But then he named it like a gorilla or something. Monkey something or whatever. So I was like, okay, monkeys eat bananas. So I just figured maybe he knew about the banana terpene. But now I'm thinking, like, I don't really hear him talking about the banana. Like, he had banana. I don't hear him talking about the, what is that shit? Anisette. The one he calls, is it Leia? I think the one he calls Leia. I got, like, the strain before anyone got the strain. Or maybe not before anyone got the strain. But, like, a long time ago. Before it was that strain. And, dude, that came out the buds turn black. So we had black buds, and it tastes like anisette. And one thing about anisette is I don't like anisette. I can't stand anisette. So I couldn't deal with it. But I know people who absolutely fucking go crazy for anisette. They love it. And but I never heard them talk about the anisette. I don't know. Weird. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know what anisette tastes like, but if he's listening, smell or taste anisette and see if that's the smell you're smelling that you can't put the finger on. I bet it is. And then if you advertise it as anisette, people will say, "Oh, anisette." Man, my grandmother used to take a shot of anisette every night before bed. And now that you think about it, anisette is a healthy thing. You know what I mean? So that terpene might be healthy. I still have some of the beans. I could send them back because that shit needs to be bred by the original cultivator to get the original back. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the other seeds will be anisette too. Or maybe I got the one fluke seed that was anisette, and I should have cloned it. Back then, I didn't have good cloning skills, man. I'll admit, my cloning skills sucked. Once I started listening to Grow Boss on the cloning, man, that's the main thing I learned from the Grow Boss. The cloning. I mean, growing a plant, everyone knew I grew the bushes I grew. I mean, people would ask me, "How do you get it so you can't see through the plant?" Well, I don't know. I just grows like that. But the cloning I had difficulty on, but now the cloning I am really good at now, and I'm gonna take the steps that Carol says, leave it in there another month in the cloner. I'm even thinking about getting one of them auto cloning liquid bullshits that he got. It's easier to keep it in there, you know what I mean? You can actually get the roots to grow a little bigger and better than to those little domes and Maudie domes and shit. I mean, I've shown long roots on those, but I mean, to have a complete bush coming out of it, like, dude, it would get cut off from the friggin' plastic in the thing. You would never be able to pull it up. You'd have to cut the plastic out of it. But, um, yeah, that's why I upgrade to that. Keep them in an extra month. Like I said, I mean, before in the video, there's nothing wrong with keeping a clone in for an extra month. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, Grow Boss used to say, don't rush them out of the clone dome. He said, when you do it right, they'll like lift themselves out and walk out of the dome. Now what he means is like your roots will get so big, it'll start pushing up and lifting the plant up, and the whole cube will come out because the roots are pushing out, growing it out of the frigging thing. I should have showed that. But I realized that's what he was talking about. I'm like, oh man, that's what he meant by they'll just lift themselves up and walk away and find dirt. It's kind of funny. A little bit exaggeration, but not really. I mean, they do lift themselves out. It becomes like a little shop of horror with like the roots type of thing. Alright, well, I'm gonna end this one. We got this video done. I'm gonna finish it off with some bong rips and crank this fucking music up. Ooh. Alright, this is a Happy Cultivator signing off somewhere in paradise.